skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com. I hope you enjoyed that intro. It's November 1st today, and we have a brand new binding to talk about. Really exciting. I actually just found out about it myself recently. This isn't a review as we normally do. This is more of a preview, but it's a really cool product, and we thought that we would put a video out talking about it. Some of our expectations, where we see it differing from what's out there in the existing market, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, this is a new kind of hybrid freeride touring binding from Marker. It's called the Duke PT. PT stands for Pintech. Obviously, Duke has been associated with alpine touring bindings for a while now. One of those early Marker bindings that really kind of helped kickstart the touring revolution, as I might call it. And this new Duke PT is quite a bit different, so no more frame binding. I think it's obviously in response to the Solomon Shift that we've been talking about for quite a while now, or Solomon Atomic or Armada Shift, either one, they're all the same. And this binding's a little bit different. So let's just kind of talk about it in general a little bit. I follow a lot of ski products. I've got my finger on the pulse of the industry. And in my opinion, this new Marker binding, sure, it's in response to the Shift binding, but I see influences from other bindings in here as well. The first thing that came to mind when I saw it was the CAST, C-A-S-T touring system. And I think that to me, this new binding looks like kind of a combination between the Shift and that CAST touring system. If you're unfamiliar with that system, it's basically designed to swap between a look pivot toe and a Pintech toe. You install some hardware onto your ski, and then the different toe pieces kind of slide off and on that. This is a little bit different, but it's fairly similar. It's a similar idea in the sense that you're removing or adding material to the toe piece, whether you're going uphill or downhill. So pretty cool. Basically, the gist of this binding is that they're trying to give you jester performance on the downhill, and the efficiency and the lightweight feel of a Pintech binding on the uphill. Whether I think from the looks of it does look like it's going to deliver really good downhill performance. The heel piece is very similar to what we've seen on Marker Royal family bindings for a while now. That heel piece has proven to be strong. The toe piece is a little different than what we see on a jester, and that'll be really interesting to get our hands on and see the functionality in person. But I trust their claims that it has jester level downhill performance. And it's got DIN certified release, DIN ISO certified release for a bunch of different boot norms, actually. So a full alpine sole, a grip lock sole, and also an ISO certified touring sole. So that's really cool that you get certified release for all three. For the descents, that's kind of what we're looking for. And then let's get back to that toe piece. So in downhill mode, it looks like a pretty standard alpine toe piece from what we're seeing. You can then flip that whole entire toe piece forward. Marker's got some pretty cool videos showing how this works. You flip that whole thing forward. You can either then lock those pieces in front and keep them there, or you can actually fully remove them and throw them in your backpack or in your pocket. And that ability to remove the toe piece really is what got me thinking about that CAST touring system. And I really like this concept from Marker. It's crazy windy out right now, so if we get lights flickering or if we lose lights entirely, I apologize. Where you got 50 mile an hour gusts going on out there. There's also they call it a lock and walk brake. I assume this is going to function very similarly to how the Shift, how you kind of step it down and lock the brake up. I imagine it's going to be very similar to that. Let's talk about weight. So the way that this binding falls in with weight is kind of interesting. It's actually heavier than the Shift is. which makes sense. I think that Royal Family heel piece is known to be fairly heavy, and it looks like this binding is going to be pretty darn burly. So it is the heaviest. So for comparison, a Kingpin 13 comes in at 750 grams per binding. A Shift comes in at 865 grams per binding. And then the DIN 12 version of the new Duke PT in uphill mode with the toe piece removed comes in at 850. And then with that toe piece back on, it's 1090. The 16 is going to be 1,000 grams in uphill mode and 1280 in downhill mode. So this is the heaviest. And if you're thinking to yourself right now, hey, Jeff's wearing a different t-shirt or different sweatshirt, I'm pretty sure, than the last time I saw him, you're right. We released this video yesterday with some inaccurate weight information. So if you saw that, I apologize. I was a little bit confused because binding companies list their weights a little bit differently, whether it's per binding or per pair. So our apologies. So the Duke PT, especially that 16 DIN version, is going to be the heaviest. So it'll be interesting to see if we get significantly more, stompability, whether it feels more secure than the Shift when you're locked into downhill mode. So those will be all things that we'll be testing once we get our hands on this binding. We're going to try and get it as soon as we can. We're not 100% sure when that's going to be, but as soon as we get our hands on it, we're going to do quite a lot of testing on it, and we will let you know as soon as we have results and our thoughts after testing. So yeah, in the meantime, we just wanted to provide you with some information on it, talk about our first thoughts. Definitely let us know if you have any questions. We can answer all the questions that we're able to, and those that we're unable to, we can reach out to Marker. We have good contacts with Marker. So yeah, exciting new binding. It's definitely cool to see this category of bindings grow and expand. And we will see you guys on the slopes awfully soon. I'm off to a free ski training camp this afternoon. So yeah, we'll be skiing soon, and we'll see you on the slopes. Thanks, guys.